our response to the appearance in the Magistrates Court earlier this week of the South African Police Service National Commissioner, General Fani Masemola, on charges of contravention of the Public Finance Management Act. In consideration of the seriousness of these charges and the critical role that the National Commissioner of Police plays in leading the fight against crime, I have agreed with General Masemola that he be deemed to be on precautionary suspension pending the conclusion of the case. To ensure stability and continuity in the South African police force, I have appointed Lieutenant General Puleng Dimpane, who is standing right next to me here on the left-hand side, as the acting National Commissioner of Police. Lieutenant General Dimpane is currently the Divisional Commissioner for Financial Management Services of the South African Police Service and has a long and distinguished career, both in the South African Police Service and in other public institutions entities. Having been in the police service for close on to 2 decades, she has extensive experience in policing, in strategic management, in financial management, and in governance. Lieutenant Dimpane has a reputation for professionalism as well as for integrity. And what's more pleasing, she is one of the key women who are in the leadership of our police service. I am confident that she has the qualities and the standing necessary to provide effective leadership to the South African Police Service during this challenging period. Lieutenant Dimpane will be supported by a strong team of experienced and dedicated police leadership throughout the country. She will lead a police service that, notwithstanding substantial challenges that it is facing at the moment, is comprised of men and women who are committed to serving the police of this country for the good cause of justice. A key area of attention for the acting National Commissioner and the police leadership as a whole is to urgently address weaknesses in the procurement system for goods and services in the police service. In the report of the Zondo Commission and through the proceedings of the Madlanga Commission, procurement has been identified as the source of corruption, also abuse of office and instability within the police service. The Minister of Police will support the work that the South African Police Service leadership must now undertake to insulate procurement processes from any form of manipulation. This work will feed into the broader restructuring of procurement in the public sector that was announced in SONA. The acting National Commissioner will be expected to sustain the momentum of our national fight against crime and corruption. There has been a reduction of contact crime over the past 2 financial years, largely due to the focus by the police on police visibility. Focus initiatives to address gender-based violence and femicide, as well as the implementation of the integrated crime and prevention strategy, remain central to our ongoing fight against the scourge of violent crime. The Justice, Crime Prevention and Security Cluster has made great progress towards the adoption of an organized crime strategy, which, as you well know, is going to be led and is being led by General Mkhwanazi, for which significant resources have been allocated from the departments in the cluster, as well as from the Criminal Asset Recovery account. Important steps have been taken with regard to organized crime, including gang violence, illegal firearms, illegal mining, drug trafficking, as well as kidnappings. These efforts have been strengthened by collaboration between the South African Police Service as well as the South African National Defence Force. The South African Police Task Team investigating matters arising from the Madlanga Commission has already made significant progress, leading to a number of arrests. We commend the team and wish it a great deal of success going forward. As we embarked on the task of rebuilding our law enforcement agencies and security services, we knew that it would not be an easy process. It would actually be a very difficult undertaking. We've been guided at all times by the need for transparency, accountability, and the respect for due legal process. It is understandably a cause of great concern for all South Africans that the National Commissioner of Police is in court facing the charges that he's facing. However, we should not allow the development such as this to weaken our determination or diminish our ability to fight crime and corruption. We should not allow anything to destabilize the police service or even undermine the morale of those entrusted to protect our people. We must hold firm to the values of our Constitution, and in this case, as in all other cases, allow the law to take its own course. Minister Cachalia and Acting National Commissioner, Lieutenant General Dimpane, will be holding a briefing soon to outline further actions that will be taken to stabilize the South African Police Service and strengthen its work. I wish General Dimpane and the entire South African Police Service leadership well in the whole process of rebuilding our police service, and wish them all the luck that they will need in the fight against crime. That is the announcement we wanted to make, and it is about the appointment of the Acting National Commissioner of Police, General Dimpane. Congratulations, General. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Colleagues, as we've agreed, the President has another engagement which you're all aware of, so we need to get him out of here at a decent time. So I know you've caucused who will ask the questions, so I'll be led by your show of hands. Let's start with Ziyanda and then follow with Thulasizwe. The President will take those first two, and thereafter we'll take the next two. Ziyanda?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Mr. President and the Acting National Police Commissioner and the Acting Police Minister. And Mr. President, that's the note I want to start off with. You have a lot of actings currently. When are you making a decision regarding the Police Minister? You still have Senzo Mchunu on a leave of absence. That decision lies with you. But also, how long is it going to take for you to make a decision? Are you contemplating instituting an inquiry to look into the fitness of Fani Masemola to hold office? But also, Mr. President, what do you make of the charges that Masemola is facing? There's been lots of commentary around this. Do you believe that it's worthy of him actually being in the dock with criminals like Vusumuzi Kat Matlala? Just your thoughts on the nature of the charge in light of, and the context here is of course what we've heard at the Commission of Inquiry, that there is a battle with IDAC and there's fighting amongst the law enforcement agencies. Thank you.
3 questions there.
It's not 3 questions, it's a speech.
Don't worry.
Thulasizwe?
You are safer with me, Vincent.
You're a
Mr.
lawyer.
President, Minister, thank you so much for that. Mr. President, the only addition I would put to my colleague Ziyanda's question about Minister Mchunu is At the end of the day, this is a political decision, Mr. President. You may have seen and heard what you've seen and heard at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry that has to do with criminality or otherwise, or lack of a link, etc. Ultimately, we're asking you to answer for the political decision that you have the wherewithal to make. That's me just adding on to Zian. Then my question is,
Aibu.
my question, Mr. President, is why should South Africans not view the move you are making now as a rearranging of the decks, as putting out a fire that has arisen because the police commissioner is now appearing, as opposed to addressing systems? How long should South Africans be patient with you as a government while you keep saying that you're making strides to fix the SAPS? We can take you all the way back to the recommendations of the Farlam Commission of Inquiry as they relate to strengthening the institution, where we find ourselves on a daily basis asking ourselves, who are these generals? How did they get here? How did they get entrusted with such responsibility? And I suggest, Mr. President, that it goes back to failing to address the institution. And why should South Africans not view this appointment as, yet again, we're putting out fires?
Thank you, Mr. President. We'll take that first 5 from the 2.
if I'll remember the speech that were delivered. No, as I said, South Africans have reason to be concerned about the stability and the effectiveness of our police service. And a number of other South Africans have also asked whether it was even necessary, for instance, to have the Madlanga Commission. And others have even said the Zondo Commission was entirely a useless effort. And I'd like to correct those who think so and say that all these commissions have contributed a great deal to helping us to rebuild, to stabilize the police service, and to repair the damage that has been done over quite a while. And including the Farlam Commission, which identified areas of great weakness when it comes to certain areas of policing, like public policing and all that. So all that, since that commission reported, has been attended to. We have now set up a dedicated team of police who are just focused on, for instance, public policing and many other issues that the Farlam Commission also recommended. And with regard to Madlanga, the Zondo Commission, much has been achieved. I mean, one of the things that people have said is that we spent R1 billion, and what did it achieve? It achieved a great deal. We recovered almost 16 billion rand that was taken out of state coffers illegally. But in the course of doing so, we've also passed laws. We've sought to fix a number of systems. And the investigations are ongoing on the malfeasance that the Zondo Commission identified. So it can never be said that that commission too was a waste of time and a waste of money. Similarly, with the Madlanga Commission, the Madlanga Commission was absolutely necessary. Had we not appointed the Madlanga Commission, the malfeasance that we are now uncovering would not have come out when it did. And that has really assisted us a great deal. And it has also enabled us to immediately embark on processes such as vetting. We are now vetting everyone who is in the top hierarchy of the police. And that system of vetting in itself is an important restructuring, rebuilding process. And now, with the processes that are now underway, yes, affecting a national commissioner once again, that means that we've got to strengthen processes, for instance, that has led to the preferring of the charges against him, for instance, in the procurement space. The PFMA violations, yes, they are criminal in nature, but they are also on procurement and financial. It is only the court of law that will determine whether there is criminal intent, criminal guilt, or whatever. I cannot stand here and say, yes, they are. And in full discussions with the General Masemula, I said, you will need to be on the sidelines while this matter is determined by the legal process. And there would be a choice of whether we do a board of inquiry or the criminal process. And the two obviously are different processes. And we've agreed that let the criminal process get underway. And in the intervening period, he is put on suspension on a precautionary basis whilst we get General Dimpani to act in that position. Okay, you may well say, we've got too many people acting in positions. Yes, we do. And we are going to address that specific issue because there is an inherent weakness in people just continuing to act. But right now, we are dealing with a problem that has befallen us, and we must address it, and we are addressing it as effectively as possible. It would have been irresponsible to leave the position unfilled, but now we have filled the position, and the work will be done. And the good thing, of course, is that having spoken to a number of these generals in the hierarchy of the police, is that they will all rally behind General Dimpani, support her, and work with her. And they will remain focused on the areas that they are involved in. And I expect that we will up the tempo now when it comes to fighting crime, when it comes to real focus on what needs to be done. Much as all this could affect the morale of the police, we will be doing everything we can, and the minister and the acting national commissioner will be addressing these matters and addressing the police as well. And I would like South Africans to now know that we are taking action, we are moving forward. The police service needs to be rebuilt, it needs to be repaired, and it needs to be made fit and proper to be able to fight crime on an ongoing basis. We are on a journey. Yes, it's been debilitating, it's been very, very heartbreaking to hear all the things that we keep hearing in the commission. But we must go on, and we must make sure that we appoint people who are going to do the work, and people who are professional, and people who will have been properly vetted, and people of integrity. Thank you. I've answered all 5 questions.
Yes, you have,
Thank
Mr.
you.
President. Thank you so much.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so let's take the next two. I'm gonna take Bongagile and I'm gonna take Spamandla.
Good afternoon, President, to the Minister and the Acting Commissioner. My name is Bongekile Macupe from News 24. President, I wanted to ask you that the law does empower you to establish a commission into the fitness of the National Commissioner, and you are saying that you chose rather to allow the legal process to take its course. And we do know that legal processes can drag. He can go to court when he's back again, and it can be postponed, and it can go on for on and on and on.
Yeah.
Even with the minister, you had said that you wanted to allow the Madlanga Commission process to conclude. Do you not think that you just need to take a decision? What confidence must South Africans have in you not taking these decisions when the law empowers you to act instead of waiting for processes that are likely going to drag while we have a national commissioner and a minister of police who are tainted? Thank you.
Thank you, Bongagile. Spamandla.
Thank you very much. Usipamandla Koke from ENCA. You say you want to up the tempo in fighting crime, but you are flanked by 2 acting people. South Africans who are ravaged by crime are losing hope. How do you ensure that not only the police are facing immoral, which is low, but also South Africans trust in what you are saying because they are losing the patience?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I'm flanked by 2 people who are capable, who are going to do the work. The minister, acting minister, has already hit the ground running. and doing the work that needs to be done. I have no doubt in my mind that the commitment that he is showing and demonstrating is up to doing the job and the task. And similarly, I expect General Dimpani to do exactly the same. Now, obviously, we don't want anybody who's acting to act forever. We want people who are properly appointed. And as you heard, I did say that I'd like the legal process to take its course. And in this case, my dear sister, as you asked, whether this will be an elongated process. I do not want it to be an elongated process. The Madlanga Commission has been given a short time frame, and that is soon coming to an end, which will enable us to do a fairly comprehensive rebuilding and restructuring of the police. I'd like all that to come to the fore and thereafter be able to take definitive decisions. It isn't too long to wait for the Madlanga Commission, and in a little while, maybe a month or two or so, we will have the conclusion thereof, and we can then take very clear and focused decisions. And similarly, I would like General Masemula's trial process to be fairly quick. And obviously, it's a matter that we can reconsider as we see the elongation of the period. So we're going to keep this on tab and focus on the delays and the processes that may unfold. It does not immediately rule out what other action or initiative that I can take.
Samgelo and Anastasia, that will be the last two, and then we close.
Samkele Masego from the SABC. Mr. President, you'll have to excuse me. I'm going to bring in some issues that may not be here. The Crown Court is said to be delivering a judgment on the Palapala Section 89 report within a month. Are you scared that it might ultimately say you must go through an impeachment process?
Samgelo, we had agreed that we're dealing with the subject of the day. The
Samgelo.
president can't engage on speculative questions.
Okay, so then
So let's
secondly,
move on.
Mr. President, on Minister Mkhunu, why is it taking so long for you to make a decision? Is it based on politics, intra-party politics, or is it purely an issue of political owing, knowing where you come from with him, for you to be standing there on the podium today as the president of the country? Thank you.
Thank you. Just pass the mic for the last question. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. President, I'm Anastasia Mkhobu for Jacaranda FM News Watch. If you've been following the
Tell
commission,
Ngumswati.
no, I'm Betty.
Oh,
Yes.
Kutakaruru Bwana Mswati.
Anastasia Mkhobu, Jacaranda FM.
Okay.
Maybe I spoke too fast. So far, the evidence that's been coming out of the Madlanga Commission implicate most of the senior police officials. Perhaps it indicates the issue of trust. They don't trust each other. As she's taking over the job now, and I understand perhaps the task team that was led by Fanny Masemula, how do we ensure that the people that she's going to be working with don't find themselves or are also not on the wrong side of the law? Is there anything that's being done as the allegations are coming out? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to ask to take the mic. I'm so sorry, Vincent, because you don't know my name, and I've had my hand up.
Okay, just last one. Yeah.
Thank you so much. My name is Khomozo Modise. I'm from Eyewitness News. I just wanted to follow up, Mr. President. Initially, my understanding was that the suspension would be pending the outcome of the legal process. But now I seem to be hearing you saying you might at some point reconsider before the end of the legal process. Are you saying that you might be making a consideration based on other factors as well? And then I just wanted to add on the question from my colleague Zianda, just around the charges, but also the IDAC's case. What are your views on the case that IDAC has currently brought before court? Because the view and the perception that's going is that you may have delayed to make this decision because of the view that you have around the case that IDAC has brought that is rather peculiar in nature.
Thank you very much. Normally, the president never expresses a view on active cases. President, you'll take those last three.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I waited until General Masemula appeared in court, and we could see the charges and the summons. So that is done. And therefore, that has then enabled me to take the decision that I have taken. It had nothing to do with IDEC or whatever. IDEC is an institution that is independent, that takes decisions on whether to charge people or not, and without any interference from my side or anyone who is in government. So they have taken their decision, and I never express a view on issues of the veracity of charges or not, because that is the court's task. I do not act as a court and will never do. We've appointed judges to adjudicate on matters, be they charges or whatever. They must adjudicate. They must then tell us on the basis of the evidence that they will have heard whether a person is guilty or not. So General Masemula must be allowed to go through that process. With regard to, in the end, what will we do? Obviously, some trials go on forever, and we will need to examine precisely where this is going to be able to determine precisely what needs to be done to stabilize the situation in the police service. So we will be keeping, as I said, a close eye on how this process moves forward. With regard to, you said, the Constitutional Court, it is the Constitutional Court's decision that will be announced, and I have no view on that. Whatever the court decides is what the court decides. And the respect of our judicial system, the respect of our judiciary is sacrosanct and must be regarded as such. The other question, oh yes, whether Minister Mkhunu, I have said that I'm waiting for, and I repeat, the Matlanga Commission to conclude its work. And it is about to conclude its work. And once that work has been concluded and final findings have been made, then we will move forward. Now, obviously, everybody has findings. You have made your findings already, but you are not a judge. Anybody else has made their findings, and I want to wait for the findings that will be made by the judiciary that I have appointed. And if you find that disappointing, I don't know how I can help you, but you have your own findings when you know what should be done. I won't even ask you to whisper to me. Time is of the essence, and with the Matlanga Commission, I did give them a very tight time frame. And I repeat myself, I'm rather pleased that the Matlanga Commission is speeding ahead with its work, and they have committed to giving a report quite on time. So let's wait for that, and then we move forward. I know you are impatient, and all of us are impatient. We want things to be done yesterday. So do I, but we've got to follow certain processes. I'm done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Nice to see you all. You want to see me soon? Pardon? Well, the acting commissioner with the minister are going to have an opportunity, as I said, to outline precisely how they are going to take the work forward. I know you want to hear her voice. Just have a little bit of patience. You want to see me soon?
Yeah, comment today, please. When are we seeing
Thank
You
you.
need another briefing.
Lots to talk about.
You will get another briefing from me soon.
Yes, we've committed to that. We've committed to that.
You want 2 weeks?
We've
2
committed
months.
to that.